when one time the Prophet ﷺ was with his companions, and he took a stick and he drew a line in the sand, and he said that هَذَا سَبِيلُ اللَّهِ مُسْتَقِيمًا, that this is the path of Allah, the upright and the narrow and the straight and the straight path. And then he kind of drew on either side of it other lines. He said, هَذِهِ السُّبُلُ, that these are other paths, وَلَيْسَ مِنْهَا سَبِيلٌ إِلَّا عَلَيْهِ الشَّيْطَانُ يَدْعُو إِلَيْهِ. That and all of these other paths, every single one of them, there is a devil upon it that is calling towards that particular path. In other words, both towards the path of one side versus the other. We can use whatever term, left, right, extremism, progressivism, liberalism, whatever you might want to call it, that these take the person away from this middle path. So what the Prophet ﷺ is saying, that this having sabilullah mustaqima, that's not just sort of you get on this path and then it's cruise control and everything will be fine. So there's active and effort is going to be required. You can't just turn on the automatic navigation system and then you'll get there after you die and everything will be fine. No, he says at every single one of these sides, there's a shaitan that is trying to attract the believer to go away from this path. And it's not just the shaitan that is attracting the believer to that which is outwardly sinful, because sometimes the way that shaitan misleads people is through the deen itself. Right? And what I mean by that is that sometimes shaitan makes people become so quote-unquote religious that it then causes them to have this fakhar that, oh, look at me and mashallah, how religious I am. And it causes them to have a sense of judging other people who are not as religious. So they say, oh, look at this person, look at this guy, he's, doesn't have a beard, look at that sister, she doesn't cover, I'm so much better than that person because I, mashallah, have a long beard, I, mashallah, wear the hijab, etc., etc. This is the other way that shaitan causes us to deviate from the path of moderation. And what's scary about this is that that's actually shaitan's favorite path. That's actually shaitan's favorite path because that's how he himself was led astray. Right? Shaitan never said to Allah that I disbelieve in you. He didn't say kafartu billah, that I disbelieve in God. He didn't ascribe partners to Allah. He didn't kill anyone. Right? But the deen itself, in other words, his particular understanding of deen, which is how religious I am. Look at me, I've worshipped Allah for thousands of years, and look at this creature of clay, hasn't worshipped Allah at all. Why is he getting all the favoritism? That is what caused him to be led astray. So here the Prophet ﷺ, when he's talking about having a subul, he didn't just say there's one path which is just shaitan calling you from one direction and stay away from it. He says the way that shaitan tries to attack the believer is through both paths. In other words, towards the path of apparent sinfulness, but the scarier path is the path of apparent religiosity that is actually sinful. If it leads to judging people, harming people, speaking badly about other people, that is harm for religiousness. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ, that there's a shaitan on this path as well, and he's calling you towards it. So what we have to ask ourselves is, and then he recited this ayah, وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا فَاتَّبِعُوهُ. Surah Al-An'am, verse number 153, that this is my straight path. وَأَنَّ هَذَا صِرَاطِي مُسْتَقِيمًا. This is my path, which is the path of being upright and being balanced and just and what have you. فَاتَّبِعُوا. So follow that. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ. Then don't follow all of these other paths, lest you go astray. فَتَفَرَّقَ بِكُمْ عَنْ سَبِيلِ ذَلِكُمْ وَصَّاكُمْ بِهِ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This is what he has enjoined upon you, prescribed upon you, so that perhaps you may be people of taqwa. So when we look at where is it that we have to be actively moderate, one area that we can talk about is with our religious duties itself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for example, if we are slacking off, if we're not doing the fara'id, that means we have to be actively involved in doing the fara'id. If we are actively involved, hasha lillah, in things which are openly sinful, the major sins, then we have to be actively involved in removing ourselves from that particular situation, or if it's with a particular group of people or whatever it might be, so that we move away from it. But on another level, the other side of it is sometimes people become so concerned and so doubting about, oh, did I, when I made wudu, did every single cell on my foot, did it get washed? Right? Or, people become so worried that, every little thing I'm eating, is there some, atom that was, passed by a pig on the way into my mouth, or whatever it might be. Right? That it's this unhealthy scrupulousness that causes people then to kind of become very paranoid and very self-doubting, that it causes them to also have difficulty. So this path of religious moderation, when the Prophet ﷺ told us that we are supposed to basically said to do al-tariq, right? That try your best or come close to it. And you're not going to be held accountable for every little thing that we can't control. But obviously, if it's time for Fajr, you pray Fajr, right? But is Allah going to hold us accountable if the exact angle that we're praying, the qibla, if we're like, 0.2 degrees off? Right? You see people, they have this is always a funny thing when people are traveling and everyone gets out their phone and, oh, my Google Compass is better than your Apple Compass, and everyone has to, it's like lined up correctly, and by that time, like the salat time is done, because everyone's trying to figure out, am I lined up like 0.1 degree within the qibla? Right? So this is the silliness that sometimes happens, that when we talk about being actively religiously moderate, that the idea is like, look, if it's time for salat, you pray. You make your best effort to figure out where's the qibla. You make your best effort to wash properly and make sure it's a clean place. But to emphasize this and to worry about, oh, did a dog walk by this area like 2 years ago and may have left some najasa there that now I can't pray in this. Like, that's where it becomes difficult. The Sahaba were not immune to this either. They themselves felt that when they were with the Prophet ﷺ, that they were always remembering Allah. They were so aware of their responsibilities, and they felt so religious. And then when he left the Prophet ﷺ, that they became different people. And one time, Hanzala radiallahu anhu came in, he complained to the Prophet ﷺ about this. He said that, when we're with you, Ya Rasulullah, we're remembering Allah, we're thinking about Jannah and Jahannam and this and that. Then we go back to our families, we go back to our work, and it's hard for us to be in that mode. And that's with us as well. We come to the masjid, mashallah, for Jummah, and we feel we're part of the Muslim community. We feel, I'm doing something religious today. And then we go back to our jobs, we go back to our families, and then it's tough to sort of maintain that. Right? The Ramadan mindset, it's tough to maintain that the other 11 months of the year. The Hajj mindset, it's difficult to maintain that when you're not there in Hajj or Umrah, whatever it might be. So this is what the companions, they came, and Hanzala radiallahu anhu came and told the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam this. And the Prophet ﷺ gave this beautiful answer, which we've heard before, but it bears mentioning in the context of today's discussion. And he says, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِي. He says, I swear by the one in whose hand lies my soul. He says that, إِنَّوْ تَدُمُونَ عَلَى مَا تَكُونُونَ عِنْدِي فِي الذِّكْرِ. That if you were to remain upon that which you were able to do when you were with me in terms of remembering Allah. He said, لَصَافَحَتْكُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ عَلَى فُرُشِكُمْ وَفِي طُرُقِكُمْ. That verily the angels would come and shake your hands and embrace you in your beds and on the roads. In other words, if you really were able to do that, you would become angelic. You wouldn't be human beings. The angels will come and hang out with you, basically. They would come and literally just chill with you. But he says, وَلَكِنْ يَا حَنْزَلَ سَاعَةً وَسَاعَةً. But, oh Hanzala, there's a time for this and there's a time for that. And the difficult thing, where actively being involved in this, is it's easy to be religious in the masjid or in Ramadan or in Hajj. But can some element of that remain with us when we are in school, when we are with our families, when we are in our jobs? That's where an active effort is required. So it shouldn't be that we swing from one extreme, that, we sort of, this Clark Kent and Superman Muslim syndrome that we become. Like, so, some people, we come to the masjid and we're super Muslim, we're like Superman. And then we leave the masjid and it's like Clark Kent. No one has any idea that this person is a Muslim. Right? So the idea should be that we should find an actively moderate path so that we're balanced, so that we're in the masjid, we feel like, yes, mashallah, alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim. But when we also go back to our workplaces, we go back to our families, when we're in schools, like, yes, I'm also a Muslim here. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to dress a certain way or walk around with like vicar beads at your workplace. No, I'm not saying that. But it means to maintain some element of that, so that when we're in our jobs, at every moment we're reminded of ourselves that, yes, alhamdulillah, mashallah, I'm from the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It can mean something as simple as, when it's time for Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib, I'm going to pray my salah. It can be something as simple as that I'm going to be an ethical and just person at my job. It could be something as simple as that I'm going to be honest in my job. There's an opportunity for me to make a quick profit from this company or my place of business, but I'm going to be just and ethical because I know that I am accountable to a higher power more than just my immediate boss. I am accountable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the Day of Judgment. This is where active moderation comes into play. This is the hada sabilullahi mustaqima, that middle path, that straight path, that clear-cut path that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam talked about. When it comes to something as being patient, sabr, right? It means that there are things in our lives that we don't have control over. So we are patient over them, whether there are things which happen in other countries or abroad. There's not much that we can do actively. We can make dua, we can send money, etc., fine. But sometimes our test is to be able to be patient. But there are things in our own communities, both within the Muslim community here, in our local communities, that we can fix. Problems in our masajid, problems within our schools, problems within our communities that we can fix. As well as things with the local non-Muslim community that we can be involved in civic matters and community service and feeding people and taking care of needy people. This is where actively balancing sabr is asking ourselves to think, what is it that I can't control, and therefore I have to be patient, I have to make dua, I can send money, I can do things which are legally permissible. But what are things that I should be impatient about? That I shouldn't be happy that if people in the Muslim community, in our local Muslim community, for example, are suffering, or they're hungry, or they're needing clothes or shelter, that why can't we be more impatient about that? Right, so this is how we balance sabr. Sabr doesn't just mean, just sit there and be patient. It means, okay, what are things that I can control? Okay, I have to be patient about that. But things that I can be involved in, things that I can, inshallah, try to make better, that you're impatient about it, that it should bother us, that we're not able to fix it, or we're not able to make a better effort towards it. So that's how we are actively patient. When it comes to things like a topic like being tolerant, right? How are we actively tolerant? Is we ask ourselves, what are things that the Prophet ﷺ never compromised on for the public expectations of the Ummah? And for those things we shouldn't compromise on. We shouldn't compromise on that this is what the Deen says about topic A or topic B. But are there things that it's okay, Mashi, if we don't make such a big deal out of it, then we should make such a big deal out of it. The problem, especially in the American Muslim community, is the things that we should be concerned about and we should not tolerate. Oh, and we tolerate it. Oh, you have a certain lifestyle, fine, we'll tolerate it. And things that we should let go, that, oh, this person's praying without a kufi on, and there's some masjids you can't even go in if you don't have a kufi on, or your pants aren't above your ankles. Right? So this is the thing we have to ask ourselves, what are things that we can tolerate? Let it go. That's what the Prophet ﷺ did. That's what he did about the companions. All the companions were Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, Umar radiallahu anhu, and the part of the Ashara Mubashara. They were companions that had problems. They had struggles and shortcomings, and we say even about those companions that the so-called quote-unquote worst of them was better than the best of us. Their sins are probably better than our good deeds. But nonetheless, the reality was that not everybody was super Muslim around the Prophet ﷺ, but he didn't make a big deal when it wasn't a big deal. But for things that did matter, he did make a big deal out of it. He did speak up that this was not right, or this is how the community should behave. And that's the thing that we have to be careful about, is that in our communities, that we tolerate what should be tolerated and let it go. But things that we should not tolerate, things that we should be firm upon, things which are part of the Quran and the Sunnah and part of the Sharia, that we should say that this is Islam. We can't change Islam just to say, oh, we're going to accommodate Islam. This sort of this Christmasization of Islam that, let's make Islam fun, and at the same, and in the process that Islam becomes something that it is not. So this is the challenge that we have when we talk about being this ummah al-wasata, this balance, this just, this middle nation. The message that we spoke about today is that being the people of the middle path, being this middle nation, isn't this passive one. It isn't about just sitting back and letting things happen and, no. It's about asking ourselves, where are situations and where are issues that we must be actively involved and must actively be concerned about? And where are the times when we have to be able to take perhaps a less aggressive approach, a more passive approach, so that the net result is one of moderation. We pray therefore that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the eyesight, the foresight, and the insight to be able to identify those issues that we need to be more actively involved in our religious lives, in our personal lives, and in the lives of the general community. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to have patience and to be passive on those things that either we are unable to fix or things that are of no concern to us. And may He subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those people that are able to follow, that have sabilullahi mustaqima, that are able to follow the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the path of the straight and the narrow. And may He subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability that we follow that path in this world so that it benefits us not just in this world, but most importantly that it benefits us in the hereafter. وَقُولُوا قَوْلِ هَذَا وَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ وَلَكُمْ وَلِسَائِرِ الْمُسْلِمِينَ فَاسْتَغْفِرُوهُ إِنَّهُ هُوَ الْغَفُورُ الرَّحِيمُ. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى إخوانه من المرسلين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، يا أيها المسلمون والمسلمات، يقول الله تعالى في كتابه المجيد: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب القبر وقنا عذاب جهنم وادخلنا الجنة الفردوس بلا عذابك وبلا حسابك مع حبيبك مع الأبرار. يا ودود يا غافر يا غفار. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في ديننا ودنيانا وأهلنا ومالنا. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعبادك الصالحون، ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذك من نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعبادك الصالحون. اللهم ارحم على أمة نبيك وحبيبك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم في كل مكان وفي كل بلاد يا أرحم الراحمين ويا أحفظ الحافظين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم، ولذكر الله تعالى أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقم الصلاة.
Brothers, please continue the line, although we do not start to move on until you complete the line to the left and to the right. You have plenty of spaces before you start a new line. Take some time. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا وأقيموا صفوفكم واعتدلوا. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل تعالوا أتل ما حرم ربكم عليكم ألا تشركوا به شيئا وبالوالدين إحسانا ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق نحن نرزقكم وإياكم ولا تقربوا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تعقلون. ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا الكيل والميزان بالقسط لا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها وإذا قلتم فاعدلوا ولو كان ذا قربى وبعهد الله أوفوا ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تذكرون. وأن هذا ولا تتبعوا السبل فتفرق بكم عن سبيله ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تتقون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إن هذه تذكرة فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله إن الله كان عليما حكيما يدخل من يشاء في رحمته والظالمين أعد لهم عذابا أليما. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Just give me 2 minutes, only 2 minutes inshallah ta'ala. Very important announcement. Bismillah ta'ala, this Sunday, as you know, we will have our gala for our Mecca movement for the youth. Inshallah ta'ala at Ashton Place, 5 p.m. This is a great event, an important event. We will have Imam Suhaib with Bismillah Ta'ala coming to talk about our youth in our community. We will have a great food, inshallah ta'ala, at Awadi food. Awadi should pay us for this announcement. And we will have a great community, great leaders. Our great leader of our youth, Sheikh and Imam Sheikh Talib Muslim will be there. I will try to be there as well, inshallah. And we expect all of you to be there. This is very important for all of us. Our youth come here, they come here every week. On a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, brothers and sisters, but only from our local community here, but from all over Greater Chicago area to learn about Islam, to learn about Quran, to learn about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is not all. It's not just to talk the talk, but also we walk the walk. We feed the hungry, and we prepare clothing for them, and we prepare meals for them, and we want all of you to walk the walk with us. We cannot walk without you. This is your community, this is your future, and our youth are our future for today and tomorrow, inshallah. This is very important. We have the tickets available online for $20 only to support our youth. If you don't have the tickets, you can go online and buy the tickets, or you can just stop by the office to have the tickets. And this is not only for the youth alone. It's for all of us. It's a family event, and we expect all of you to support this great cause, to support the future of our community and our society. It's a great thing that we have all to participate in. Also, tomorrow we have a free event for the U.S. Council of Muslim Organizations to celebrate the 5 years anniversary. So please join them. It's a free event. Will take place tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala, at Marriott Oak Brook Hotel on 1401 22nd Street, Oak Brook. And it will start at 6 p.m. This is a great thing also that we have to participate in, and we should go. And it's a free event. We have
الساعة 5 بس شو بدي سلام بدي اخذ شغلي لاولادي وين احسن ممكن اخذ نقبل بس في شيء على الطريق شيء مول شغلي.
It's a free event. You can go and participate in this as well. Again, our important event on the gala on Sunday at Ashwood Place, 5 p.m. inshallah ta'ala, to celebrate the great work of our youth. We expect all of you to be there ta'ala and to support our youth. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept for all of you, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. Jazakumullah khairan.
Thank you.